In 2015, the New York Attorney General sent cease and desist letters to 4 major supplement retailers after independent DNA and nitrogen testing found that several popular products contained less of their stated actives than the label claimed. That investigation did not target obscure brands. It targeted products sitting on shelves at GNC, Target, Walmart, and Walgreens. Pre-workout sits in the same unregulated space. The clinical dose for citrulline malate is 6 to 8 grams per serving. The clinical dose for beta-alanine is 3 to 2 grams. Caffeine at meaningful effect starts at 200 milligrams. A significant portion of the pre-workout market hides every one of those numbers behind a proprietary blend, then charges you between $1, $80, and $2. $50 per serving to not know what you are actually consuming. 5 pre-workout brands are doing exactly that. 5 are not. Starting at number 10 with a brand whose label reads very differently once you do the milligram math. Number 10, Cellucor C4. Original presents a textbook case of the gap between marketing budget and formulation budget. A standard 3-0 serving tub retails for between $30 and $35, placing it at roughly $1. 0 to $1. 17 per serving, which sounds reasonable until you open the ingredient panel. C4 Original is owned by Nutrabolt, a Austin-based holding company that acquired the Cellucor brand and has since expanded it into an energy drink line and several sub-product tiers. The citrulline in C4 Original is listed as 5 grams per serving. The clinical dose for citrulline malate is 6 to 8 grams. That is a delivery of roughly 19 to 25% of the dose associated with measurable vasodilation and endurance effect in the literature. Beta-alanine comes in at 1. 6 grams, exactly half the 3. 2 gram clinical threshold. The mechanism here is straightforward. By listing individual ingredients without disclosing that every single active is well below clinical range, C4 Original creates the appearance of a transparent label while delivering what formulators call fairy dust dosing. You see the ingredient, you do not get the dose. Verdict: the label is not hiding anything, the dose is. Number 9. Cellucor C4 Extreme takes the underdosing framework further and adds a layer of branding complexity that serves Nutrabolt's portfolio strategy rather than your training session. A 3-0 serving tub of C4 Extreme retails between $40 and $45, a 30 to 40% price premium over C4 Original. The parent company here is again Nutrabolt. The citrulline dose in C4 Extreme moves to 3 grams, still less than half the clinical minimum. Beta-alanine reaches 3, 2 grams, which is the clinical threshold, and represents the single ingredient in the product that clears the bar. Caffeine comes in at 200 milligrams, which sits at the lower end of the effective range but is at minimum a real dose. The problem is the price to formulation ratio. When Nutrabolt sells you C4 Original and C4 Extreme at different price points under the same brand umbrella, and the upgrade in formulation does not justify the upgrade in cost across the key actives, the holding company structure is doing more work than the chemist. For the lifter, the premium is paid for brand tier positioning, not grams of active ingredient. Before we reach the worst of this list, you need 4 tests. 4 things you can check before you buy any pre-workout to separate a clinically dosed product from a marketing tub. First, find the active ingredient dose on the label. If citrulline malate is not listed at a minimum of 6 grams, or if it simply says citrulline without malate, you are looking at either an underdosed formula or a cheaper ingredient form. If beta-alanine is under tray, 2 grams, you will not experience the clinical tingling effect associated with meaningful carnosine buffering. If caffeine is under 150 milligrams, the stimulant effect is mild at best. Second, look for the words proprietary blend, performance matrix, or energy complex, followed by a single combined weight in grams. That combined weight tells you nothing about individual doses. A proprietary blend listing caffeine, citrulline, and beta-alanine in a combined 4-gram matrix could legally contain 8 grams of caffeine and 100 milligrams of each other ingredient. It is a legal mechanism designed to hide the math, not protect the formula. Third, search the brand on Informed Sport or NSF Certified for Sport before you buy. Brands that submit to third-party batch testing have made a verifiable commitment that each batch matches the label and is free from contamination with substances banned in sport. Brands that refuse third-party testing have a reason for refusing. Fourth, calculate cost per serving against what you are actually getting. A $2 per serving pre-workout that delivers 3 grams of citrulline costs you twice as much per effective milligram as a $1.50 per serving product delivering 8 grams. The front of the tub does not tell you this. The milligram panel does. Every video on this channel applies these same tests. No supplement brand partnerships. No sponsored reviews. If that is the kind of analysis you wish someone did before you bought your next tub, you already know what to do. Number 8. MuscleTech Vapor X5 extends this story into holding company territory with particular clarity. MuscleTech is owned by Iovate Health Sciences, a Canadian supplement conglomerate that also owns Hydroxycut, 6-Star Pro Nutrition, and several other brand lines sold at different retail price points. A 3-0 serving tub of Vapor X5 retails between $35 and $42. The citrulline listed on Vapor X5 is 8 grams, which clears the clinical threshold. However, Vapor X5 also includes a neurosensory proprietary blend weighing 5 grams total, within which choline, bitartrate, niacin, and several other actives are listed without individual doses. The structure is a partial transparency play. Disclose what looks impressive in full milligrams, obscure what is likely underdosed inside the blend. Iovate's portfolio also includes 6-Star pre-workout, which retails at roughly $0, $50 per serving, and targets the mass market consumer. Both products share distribution infrastructure under the same parent. For the lifter, the question is not whether MuscleTech's transparent ingredients are dosed correctly. It is whether the hidden portion of the formula is earning its price. Number 7. GatSport NitroFlex represents the most egregious example of proprietary blend architecture on this list. A 3-0 serving tub retails between $30 and $38. The entire active formula, including citrulline, beta-alanine, and what GAT calls a hyperemia and testosterone support complex, is delivered inside a single 5-gram proprietary blend. There are no individual milligram disclosures for any stimulant or performance compound. Caffeine is listed as a component of the blend, but without a declared dose. GatSport has not, as of available records, achieved Informed Sport or NSF Certified for Sport status for the NitroFlex line. Without a declared caffeine dose, a lifter with cardiovascular sensitivity, a tested athlete, or anyone stacking additional stimulants has no basis for calculating their total intake. That is not a minor label omission. That is the core of what proprietary blends protect: the manufacturer's ability to reformulate at lower cost without updating the label. Verdict: you are paying for a formula you cannot audit and a dose you cannot verify. Number 6. Optimum Nutrition Gold Standard Pre-Workout brings a different kind of story. Optimum Nutrition is owned by Glanbia, the Irish dairy and nutrition conglomerate that reported revenues of approximately €6 billion in 2022. The Gold Standard Pre-Workout retails between $1.30 and $1.70 per serving. Citrulline is listed at 750 milligrams. The clinical dose for citrulline malate is 6 to 8 grams, which means Gold Standard Pre-Workout delivers approximately 10 to 12% of the dose associated with measurable performance effect in peer-reviewed research. Beta-alanine comes in at 5 grams, under half the clinical threshold. The Gold Standard branding, which has made Optimum Nutrition one of the highest recognition supplement brands globally, carries an implicit promise that the formula has earned the name. At 750 milligrams of citrulline, that promise is not reflected in the scoop. Glanbia's scale gives Optimum Nutrition manufacturing advantages and raw material access that smaller brands cannot match. The formulation choice to underdose citrulline by a factor of 8 is not a cost constraint. It is a margin decision. For the lifter, the premium is paid for the label recognition Glanbia has built over 2 decades, not for grams of clinically effective citrulline. Number 5. Legion Pulse sets a different standard and stands out as the first brand on this list to publish a fully disclosed milligram panel with no proprietary blends. Legion Athletics is a direct-to-consumer brand that does not hold retail shelf space in major chains. which eliminates the retailer margin that accounts for a meaningful portion of competitors' pricing. A 2-0 serving tub retails between $44 and $49, placing it at $2, $20 to $2, $45 per serving. Citrulline malate is listed at 8 grams per serving, meeting the upper clinical threshold. Beta-alanine is listed at 6 grams, clearing the 2-gram clinical dose. Caffeine is listed at 350 milligrams, within the upper effective range. Legion holds informed sport certification, meaning each batch has been independently tested for banned substance contamination. The Labdoor analysis of Legion Pulse published a label accuracy score, placing it in the top tier of the pre-workout category for ingredients matching label claims. Here, every milligram disclosed is in honest alignment with clinical literature and third-party verification. Number 4. Transparent Labs. Bulk takes a direct approach to every criticism the previous 5 brands generate. Transparent Labs is an independent brand with no publicly documented parent conglomerate ownership structure. A 3-0 serving tub retails between $49 and $55, placing it between $1.63 and $1.83 per serving. Citrulline malate is listed at 8 grams. Beta-alanine is listed at 4 grams. Caffeine anhydrous is listed at 200 milligrams alongside 100 milligrams of L-theanine, which is a documented anxiolytic combination that moderates stimulant edge without reducing the alertness effect. Transparent Labs Bulk carries an informed sport certification as of 2023. There are no proprietary blends anywhere in the formula. The brand publishes certificates of analysis on its website for individual batches, which is an additional layer of disclosure beyond third-party certification alone. Verdict: full milligram disclosure, third-party verified, and priced below several underdosing competitors on a per-effective milligram basis. Number 3. Cogid Precogid Elite delivers a level of dosage transparency that separates it from the majority of the market. Cagid Muscle is an independent brand with documented investment from 1,910 partners, but no publicly confirmed major holding company absorption as of available records. A 2-0 serving tub retails between $54 and $59, placing it at $2, $70 to $2, $95 per serving, which is the highest price point on this list. Citrulline is listed at 10 grams of pure L-citrulline, not citrulline malate, which means the full 10 grams is the active compound. Beta-alanine is listed at 2 grams. Caffeine is listed at 200 milligrams of caffeine anhydrous plus 100 milligrams of extended-release per-calf caffeine for a total of 300 milligrams delivered across a staggered absorption curve. Precaged Elite holds informed sport certification. For the lifter, the higher cost per serving reflects a formulation that does not cut active dose to reduce cost of goods. The price is high, the formula earns it. Number 2, Gorilla Mode operates on a fundamentally different model by selling exclusively direct-to-consumer through a proprietary storefront, removing retail and distributor markup entirely. Gorilla Mode is produced by Gorilla Mind, a brand associated with the fitness content space with no documented major corporate parent. A 4-0 serving tub retails between $49 and $59, placing it between $1, $23, and $1. $48 per serving, which is among the lowest cost per serving ratios on this half of the list. L-citrulline is listed at 9 grams per serving. Creatine monohydrate is listed at 5 grams, meeting the clinical dose. Beta-alanine is listed at 2 grams. Caffeine anhydrous is listed at 175 to 350 milligrams depending on scoop size, with transparent disclosure of both configurations on the label. Gorilla Mind does not currently hold Informed Sport or NSF Certified for Sport certification, which is a documented gap for tested athletes. The brand has published third-party lab results for label accuracy on its site, but batch-level certification differs from periodic lab posting. For the natural lifter not subject to sport testing, the formulation is clinically dosed and fully disclosed. For the tested athlete, the absence of Informed Sport certification matters. Number 1. Shifted Maximum closes this list as the brand the supplement industry quietly avoids being compared to in a milligram-for-milligram audit. Shifted is a direct-to-consumer brand with no documented major holding company. A 3-0 Serving tub retails between $54 and $60, placing it between $1, $80, and $2. 0 per serving. L-citrulline is listed at 8 grams. Beta-alanine is listed at 2 grams. Caffeine anhydrous is listed at 200 milligrams alongside 100 milligrams of extended-release Zynamite for a staggered stimulant curve with full dose disclosure of each compound. Betaine anhydrous is listed at 5 grams, a dose consistent with the research examining performance and power output. Shifted Maximum holds Informed Sport certification as of 2023. There are no proprietary blends, no matrices, no complexes. Every active ingredient is disclosed in milligrams. The label is an exact statement of what is in the scoop. Across the 10 pre-workouts analyzed, one pattern holds without exception. The brands that hide their formulas behind proprietary blends are not protecting trade secrets. They are protecting the gap between what the label implies and what the milligrams deliver. Price does not track formulation quality in this category. Nutrabolt charges more for C4 Extreme than Shifted charges for a fully disclosed, Informed Sport certified formula that doses citrulline at clinical minimum and beta-alanine at clinical threshold. Glanbia charges premium prices for the Optimum Nutrition name while delivering 750 milligrams of citrulline. The Informed Lifter's only protection in this market is the milligram panel, the third-party seal, and the willingness to do the math before the purchase. In an industry built on proprietary blends, knowing what is actually in the scoop is what protects your gains and your wallet.